It was the kind of morning that felt like a turning point. The air crisp with autumn leaves swirling outside my Seattle high-rise window. I just deposited the check, $152,000 after taxes, from the grueling 2-year merger I'd spearheaded at Pacific Tech Innovations, a software firm revolutionizing cloud security. At 40, Emily Harper, that's me, had clawed my way from entry-level coder to VP of operations, sacrificing weekends, holidays, and any semblance of a personal life. This bonus wasn't just numbers in my account. It was the culmination of 20 years of proving I could rise above the chaos I'd escaped. But as I sipped my coffee, my phone lit up with a text from my brother.
Jake.
Congrats on the windfall.
Sis.
We need to talk about sharing the wealth. My stomach twisted. Jake, 35 and perpetually between gigs, had always seen my success as his safety net. I'd been wiring him money since our parents' messy divorce when I was 20, stepping in to cover rent, bills, and his endless business ideas that never panned out. Mom lived with him now in their cramped Portland apartment, both relying on my monthly transfers. I'd paid off their debts, funded Jake's half-baked ventures, like that food truck that lasted 3 months, and even covered Mom's knee surgery last year. But this bonus? This was mine. I'd earned it through 80-hour weeks, missed birthdays, and relationships that crumbled under my absence. No more. I texted back. Thanks, but I'm investing it for my future. The response was immediate. Selfish much? After all we've done for you. I set the phone down.
Heart pounding.
Little did I know that no would unleash a storm that threatened everything I'd built. The calls started that afternoon. First Jake. His voice laced with that familiar mix of charm and resentment.
Ink. Come on.
Mom's been talking about how proud she is, but we could really use a cut.
Say.
25%? It's only fair. You wouldn't be where you are without us holding down the fort back home. Holding down the fort? While I was coding through nights in a tiny studio, Jake was crashing on friends' couches, and Mom was cycling through retail jobs she quit after a few weeks. I deferred my dreams of grad school to send them money, working double shifts at a coffee shop to make ends meet.
No.
Jake, I said firmly. This is for me. I've given enough. Silence. Then a bitter laugh. Enough? You've been throwing scraps at us while you live it up in your fancy condo. We sacrificed so you could chase your tech dreams. Time to pay back. He hung up, and the text flooded in from Mom.
Aunts.
Even cousins I hadn't seen since Thanksgiving a decade ago. Emily, how could you turn your back on family? Jake says you're hoarding money while we struggle. I powered off my phone and tried to focus on work emails, but the unease gnawed at me. By evening, an email arrived. Family contribution agreement, please sign. Attached was a PDF that looked like a bad DIY legal form. It outlined my duty to share 25% of all bonuses and raises with the Harper Support Unit, demanded bank statements for transparency, and even claimed a stake in my retirement savings. Jake had CC'd Mom and a few relatives. My blood boiled. This wasn't a request, it was an entitlement manifesto. I deleted it without responding. But sleep evaded me that night. The weight of 2 decades of obligation pressing down. Thursday brought the escalation. My assistant, Sarah, knocked on my office door with a worried frown. Your brother called the front desk 5 times. Said it's urgent family business. I apologized profusely, mortified that my personal mess was infiltrating the professional sanctuary I'd cultivated. Pacific Tech was my world, where I was Emily, the strategist who closed million-dollar deals, not the family fixer. By lunch, my inbox overflowed with forwards from colleagues, an email Jake had blasted to my entire contact list, scraped from LinkedIn or old messages. Subject: The real Emily Harper, a family's heartbreak. It painted me as a heartless climber who'd abandoned her roots, leaving her widowed mother and devoted brother in poverty while I flaunted luxury. Lies about Mom's unpaid medical debts. I'd covered everything, and Jake's sacrifices to care for her. He never held a steady job. "We're not begging," it ended. "We're asking Emily to remember her obligations. If you value ethics, urge her to do right." My face burned as I read it. Colleagues messaged supportively, "Ignore the drama, but others were silent, the doubt seeding. Then HR summoned me. "We've received complaints," the director said gently, "and a letter claiming your bonus involved ethical violations at work." Attached was another forgery from Jake, alleging I'd fudged hours to earn it and threatening to contact regulators unless I settled family debts. I explained the truth, voice steady despite the rage inside. "This is harassment. My brother's trying to extort me." They nodded, assuring no action against me. But the damage was done. My reputation, meticulously built, was cracking. Friday hit like a freight train. Jake's next email CC'd my CEO, board members, and key clients. Urgent. Concerns about Emily Harper's professional integrity. It accused me of neglecting family duties that affected my work ethic, claimed I had a history of financial manipulation, and hinted at IRS scrutiny over fraudulent deductions. I'd never claimed them as dependents. "We demand 25% of her bonus, $38,000, or we'll pursue legal and public exposure." My hands shook as I forwarded it to legal. The CEO called me in, his tone measured. "Emily, your work speaks for itself. But this is disruptive. Handle it privately." I nodded, humiliated. Back home, text from Jake. "Last chance. Pay up or watch your career burn." Something snapped. I'd given them over $300,000 in 20 years, mortgage help, cars, vacations. Enough was enough. I contacted a lawyer that night, documenting everything. "This could be extortion," she said. "Gather evidence." As I sifted through old bank statements, I uncovered discrepancies, unauthorized charges on old cards. Small at first, then larger. Jake had been dipping into my identity for years. The realization hit like ice water. This wasn't new greed, it was a pattern. I filed a police report quietly, but the storm was just brewing. Over the weekend, the harassment intensified. Mom showed up at my building lobby, sobbing to the doorman about her ungrateful daughter. Relatives posted subtle digs on social media, tagging me in family photos with captions like, "Blood is thicker than money." But Monday revealed the depths. A website popped up, EmilyHarperExposed.com, plastered with doctored photos of me in lavish settings, stolen from vacations I'd paid for them. Anonymous testimonials from family about my cruelty. And a donation link for Harper Family Relief Fund. Traffic spiked. Colleagues mentioned seeing it. My lawyer traced it to Jake. "This is defamation and cyberstalking," she said. We sent a cease and desist. But Jake responded with a taunting text. "Family bleeds together if we don't stick. Your choice." I escalated to the FBI. Identity theft crossed state lines. Agents raided his apartment Tuesday, finding forged documents, my stolen SSN used for loans, and emails planning the smear. Jake was arrested for identity theft, extortion, and wire fraud. Mom wailed on the phone. "How could you jail your brother?" But I felt a crack in the chains, freedom flickering. The arrest made local news in Portland. Man charged in family extortion scheme, but I kept my name out as the victim. At work, whispers faded as legal confirmed my innocence, but the emotional toll lingered. Nights were haunted by memories. Dad's divorce when I was 20, leaving Mom broke and Jake aimless. I'd stepped up, coding boot camps by day, Waitressing nights. Sending every spare dollar home. Relationships fizzled because family comes first.
Now.
At 40. Single and childless. I wondered if I'd ever truly lived for me. Jake's bail hearing was a circus. He pleaded not guilty. His public defender arguing, desperate measures from a loving brother overlooked by success. Mom testified tearfully about my coldness. But evidence mounted. $52,000 in fraudulent charges over 8 years. Emails to shady online firms for the website amplification. Bail denied. He glared at me from the dock, mouthing traitor. I left the courtroom steady, but inside, grief mixed with relief. Back in Seattle, I hired a financial auditor. The report was damning. Jake had siphoned funds subtly, using my info for credit lines, even a car loan in my name. Total loss, $61,000 plus interest. You have grounds for civil suit, the auditor said. I filed, seeking restitution and damages for defamation. The extended family erupted. Uncles emailing pleas. Aunts calling me heartless. I blocked them all, realizing their support was conditional on my wallet. Mom's intervention attempt came midweek. She arrived unannounced at Pacific Tech's lobby with a pastor and a cousin, demanding to see me for a family reconciliation. Security intervened as she shouted, "Emily's destroying us." I watched from upstairs, heart aching but resolved. The pastor looked awkward. The cousin avoided eye contact. Later, her voicemail, "You're no daughter of mine if you let Jake rot." It stung, but I deleted it. Therapy helped unpack the guilt, years of enabling disguised as love. Boundaries aren't betrayal, my therapist said. They're survival. Inspired, I explored using the bonus productively. A colleague mentioned her nonprofit for women in tech-facing barriers. We need donors for mentorship programs. The idea sparked, channel the money Jake coveted into empowering others like young me. I pledged $120,000 to create the Harper Innovation Fund, scholarships for women balancing family duties with STEM careers. Naming it after Dad, who encouraged my early coding passion before the divorce shattered everything. The board was thrilled. This will change lives. Posting about it on LinkedIn shifted the narrative. Colleagues shared, praising my resilience. Clients who'd wavered recommitted. Jake's smear backfired spectacularly. But he wasn't done fighting. From jail, he smuggled messages through Mom, promising more dirt if I didn't drop charges. Everyone will know your secrets. What secrets? My life was an open book of work and sacrifice. Then a new email blast, forged confessions for me admitting to cutting family off cruelly, sent to my network again. FBI traced it to a prison contact, another charge. The prosecutor called. He's digging his grave deeper. Trial in 3 months. I prepared testimony, reliving the harassment. Meanwhile, I placed a lien on Mom's apartment. I'd paid the down payment and most mortgage years ago. Not to evict, but to secure my $142,000 investment. She couldn't leverage it without settling. Her lawyer screamed elder abuse, but courts saw the abuse was hers and Jake's. Family chat groups I was pulled into exploded with condemnations. Then pleas as legal letters warned of accessory charges for those who'd amplified the harassment. Silence followed. Cousins backpedaled. We always knew Jake was troubled. The hypocrisy fueled my fire. Volunteering at a women's shelter that weekend, I met Sarah, a single mom escaping financial control. Your story in the news gave me courage, she said. Seeing you stand up to family extortion showed me it's possible. Tears welled. My pain birthed strength for others. The scholarship launched with a small ceremony. 5 recipients, all women who deferred dreams for family. 1. Lisa hugged me. This validates choosing myself isn't selfish. Echoes of my journey. At work, The CEO promoted me to Senior VP, citing my poise under pressure. The bonus that ignited the war now fueled progress. But as trial loomed, doubt crept in. Could I testify against my brother? Send him away for decades? Then I remembered the website's vitriol. The stolen identity's betrayal. He'd chosen this path. I had to end it. The federal trial opened on a rainy April morning in Portland's courthouse. The air thick with tension. Jake sat in orange. Thinner. Eyes hollow but defiant. His defense, a cry for help from a brother crushed by inequality. Mine facts. Prosecutors presented timelines, identity theft, starting small with utility bills in my name, escalating to loans. Then the bonus demands. Emails showed premeditation. She owes us. Time to force it. The website logs revealed paid bots amplifying lies. Former roommates testified to Jake's patterns, borrowing money, never repaying. Threats when confronted. One said, he'd charm you, then turn vicious if you said no. Mom wept on the stand. Emily abandoned us after Dad left. Cross-exam. Abandoned? With $300,000 in support. She faltered. My turn came day 3. Under oath. I detailed the harassment's toll, sleepless nights, professional paranoia, the erosion of trust. He wasn't desperate. He was entitled. Jake's stare burned, but I held steady. His testimony crumbled, tears about loving too much, contradicted by evidence. Jury out 4 hours. Guilty, all counts. Sentencing, 16 years. Judge's words. You abused familial bonds for gain. Showing no remorse. Jake screamed as marshals led him away. You'll regret this.
Ing.
Mom collapsed. But I walked out numb. The finality settling like fog. Post-trial. Media picked up. Tech XX victory over family fraud, but I focused on healing. I sold the lien-protected apartment to a developer, splitting proceeds with Mom after deducting my share. She moved to assisted living, funded by her portion. Ironic justice. Relatives' apologies flooded in, laced with fear of suits. I ignored them, pruning the toxic tree. The scholarship fund expanded. Donors matched my gift, helping 30 women that year. At a gala, a recipient shared, your fund let me code while supporting my kids, breaking the cycle. Pride swelled. Jake's greed birthed good. Dating entered my life. Alex, a fellow exec, understood boundaries. Family isn't blood, it's respect. Our trips, Hawaii beaches, Napa wines, were guilt-free. Therapy unearthed buried resentment. I'd parented them, losing my youth. Forgive yourself for saying no, sessions taught. A PR piece I authored, The Hidden Cost of Family Entitlement, went viral, sparking forums for golden children sharing stories. Connections formed, a new family of survivors. 6 months post-sentencing. Life bloomed. My Seattle condo became a haven, bookshelves overflowing. Art from travels adorning walls. No more wiring money. Savings grew for my dreams, perhaps an MBA, or starting a side venture. Work thrived, leading a new AI division. Mentoring juniors. The bonus remnants funded a personal retreat, a cabin in the Cascades for writing, reflecting. There, I journaled the saga, turning pain into prose. Mom's last contact, a letter begging forgiveness, claiming Jake changed in prison. I burned it closure. Extended family faded. Holidays solo were peaceful, filled with friends who'd proven loyal. The nonprofit's impact report arrived. 75 women supported. Careers launched. One email from a scholar. Because of you, I'm the first in my family to graduate tech school. Thank you for showing strength. Tears flowed, redemption. But echoes lingered. A prison visit request from Jake arrived. I declined. Reports said he ran scams inside. Patterns persist. Mom's health declined. I insured care anonymously. But no more. Freedom's price. Solitude. But empowering. At 41, I pondered, was success a curse or gift? It drew parasites, but also purpose. The war taught, love isn't endless giving, it's mutual respect. Jake's threat, bleed together, rang true. But I chose to heal alone. 2 years on, the scars faded to stories. Promoted to C-suite at Pacific Tech, I keynote conferences on resilience. The fund hit $500,000. Partnering nationally. Alex proposed on a mountain hike, our wedding. Intimate. Celebrated chosen bonds. A book deal came. Breaking free. Surviving family financial betrayal. Royalties fed the fund. Visiting Dad's grave. I whispered, your belief lives on. Mom passed quietly. I attended the funeral from afar. Mourning what could have been. Jake's appeals failed. He'd serve full-time. Relatives scattered. Their silence a testament to shallow ties. My life? Full travels. Philanthropy.
Love.
The bonus that sparked destruction forged liberation. What price freedom? For me, it was shedding blood ties for self-worth. In the end, family isn't obligation, it's choice. And I chose me finally, unapologetically.